Welcome back to Talking Shop. I'm your host, Brandon Bombardo. I'm still not sure I can get through this intro because Nick is pretty irate this morning.
And I don't have my pen because I threw it at Alex.
Anyways, today we're diving into a topic that can make or break a shop's growth, and it's really about financing versus cash flow. Many shop owners hesitate to invest in new equipment because they're worried about using their cash reserves. But the reality is in 26 almost, strategically leveraging financing can often be smarter than waiting to pay cash for something. So it's not just about spending beyond your means. I want to make sure we are clear there. It's about using tools available to grow your business faster while protecting that cash flow that we're going to talk about. So before we get started, you already know him, but he's the most okay-ish retired fantasy football manager, Nick Peters.
You're so dumb. God, why am I even here?
I don't know.
I do nothing but just get abused all day long at this place. And then you come and record the abuse that I take. Like as if it's not enough to just listen to it out there. I got to come in here and publicly be shamed.
It's not really public shaming.
It's going on the internet for everybody to see.
Well, I mean, that's your fantasy results in general.
God. I was just talking in general. Yeah, fantasy football's stupid. I'm done in about 7 weeks.
For now.
I'm telling you right now, I'm done. And you know what's really funny?
It's not done.
My dad sent me a couple of trade offers in a different league yesterday.
You accepted them all?
No, but I didn't look at them because we've been busy, right?
Yeah.
So I just was like, I'll look at them after work. Well, he messaged me on my way home. He's like, hey, just so you know, I sent you some offers, but I took them out because I just read your face on Facebook that you're over fantasy football. So I just figured you didn't want to deal with any trades either, so I took them out. Like, thanks. I don't have to deal with fantasy football again. And just let it ride. So he thinks I'm serious, unlike anybody else here. But he knows that when I say something, I'm going to stick to it.
I'm going to be honest, Nick. I think you're serious.
I'm 100%.
I know that about you, that when you say something, you're serious. But I also know you that if the right thing happens, it'll influence your decision.
Like you pay my entry fee? Okay.
Yeah, like if I pay your entry fee. If I paid your entry fee, you'd play.
Like, look at it this way.
If you go on a 7-game run now
it's not gonna happen.
And win them all, sneak into the playoffs, beat everybody in the playoffs, go to the championship, and then just maybe don't win, you'll be back next year.
It's not going to happen.
You'll be sitting there trying to hold the Lombardi. The Bombardi. The Bombardi. Hey!
The Bombard. Oh, God, that's dumb. Get out of here. Leave the jokes to the professionals.
Sorry about that.
I will say, I'm just way too competitive. Did you know how pissed off I am that I didn't win the chili contest today?
Bro.
I'm legitimately upset. I don't know why, and I don't know why I care, but I do. I just don't like losing. I want to win.
I understand.
So I work here because we're winners.
Right. The chili was good today, though. Like, you shouldn't take offense to the fact that you didn't win it. I mean, there's a lot of good chili today. That was probably the best group of chilies we've ever had here.
I'm just really glad somebody didn't make some white queso chicken chili because that's not chili. That's just nacho dip with chicken.
Agreed.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't crap on somebody else's idea.
I
once lost a chili contest to somebody that used vegan beef in their chili. Now, that's going to make you mad. Meatless meat.
If it was good.
I mean, but see.
It's just got to be good, man.
You got me all fired up, and now I'm just being irrational.
You are being irrational.
And making fun
Welcome
of
to Nick Peters Talk 101.
Okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox and do this.
All right, I appreciate that. Let's talk about today's episode.
What are we talking? I didn't even listen to the first 30 seconds of this when you talked.
Because you were so worked up.
I was just,
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Today, I want to talk about the idea of financing versus paying cash. Because let's be honest, a piece of equipment often is like hiring an employee, is it not?
I mean, yeah.
Right? I mean, that's the reality is you're
yeah.
buying a piece of equipment to replace a need, right?
Correct.
Maybe that is a need that you have to fill or a new need you've developed or maybe a need that's shifted, right?
Correct.
It's usually the reason why you buy equipment. And often, like an employee, you hire an employee for that same reason, right? You have a need that's shifted, come up, whatever. And my theory here, and why I want to explain this, is how often do you pay your employees upfront in full for the year?
Probably not very often.
I mean, I don't know of any businesses that do it, right? I mean, it's pretty rare, even when it comes to sports, right?
Well, Kirk Cousins got paid a bunch of money to do nothing.
Right, but did he get it paid all up front?
Oh, you got a giant signing bonus.
Right, you got a signing bonus, but he did not get
the whole thing.
Yeah,
not the whole thing.
And that's my point to it, is that if you're not going to pay your employee up front for the whole year, why would you do that with your equipment?
It's a great question.
And that's what I want to talk about today. That's why I want people to kind of, a lot of people are like, I'm going to pay cash. If I'm gonna, like, let's talk about it before you get into that thought process. So that's what today's about. First, though, you told me you brought some questions. You said you had more than usual.
I brought 4.
Okay.
I think 4.
Yeah.
Nope, 5. Because
Okay.
I have one of my own.
Okay. Let's go.
Okay. See, now you're wondering.
I'm curious. I'm curious.
All right, number 1. Thank you for the inspiring videos. Keep up the great videos. Hey, you're welcome.
There
I
you
do
go.
a great job with this. Appreciate it.
It's that's my answer too. Yeah, you're welcome. Appreciate the comment. It's often that we post these videos to showcase what is truly possible with our equipment and help inspire other people to do great things or build great things. So,
Awesome.
thanks.
Perfect.
That was an easy one.
It was. Easiest one you're going to deal with today.
Okay, softball.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Just wondering what laser table is good for starting out on for someone who has never operated one. Does it really matter which table a person begins with?
Oh, that's a good one. Well, I'm going to be biased here. I feel like the fiber laser is a good place to start, right? It's the best solution, I think, on the market at this time when you consider from a production standpoint. Specifically, our 2 kilowatt. It's single phase, which makes it one of the only single phase solutions. It's category 4 rated, meaning it's enclosed, it's safety rated. I think it gives a lot of shops the ability to do things they otherwise can't do. There's just certain things that lasers can do that of plasma just cannot do from a tolerance standpoint. And obviously the fact that it's made here in Lakeville, Minnesota, I think it means a lot when it comes to build quality and support. I believe having the right company, in my opinion, does make a difference. So I do think who you buy it from matters because, like us, where we build the machine, and more importantly, we support the machine here, it can make a huge difference. No machine is perfect. I can promise you that. No product's 100% uptime. No person is immune to a problem or a concern, right? So having the right people in your corner when things don't go right is a lot of times the difference maker. And I think a lot of times there's people that I think the world could really benefit from thinking that way, that there's so many people that get irate and get so upset over something going wrong, and versus like just having some like realization that this is the real world. And sometimes things do go wrong, even with our products, right? They're American made, but if you're reasonable, we'll be reasonable. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that when you're dealing with an American company, there's probably more room for those conversations and to ensure that you get what you need versus with like an import product. You're oftentimes not going to have much negotiation.
Right.
So
great answer.
Thanks.
Number 3, what machine should I consider if I am looking to ramp up my cabinetry business? I am currently using no CNC machine.
Ooh, that's a good one. Cabinetry seems like it's booming right now, to be honest. I'm hearing a lot of questions around cabinetry. So it's usually a good sign, because when cabinets are booming, it means homes are booming, which means generally things are growing. So love hearing it, but I'd suggest for somebody who's using no equipment currently and trying to ramp up their shop, start looking at the RC series or the Pro series. Obviously there's next levels up. You can look at the IS or the ISA depending on your production level. But I've found if you're not using equipment at this point, your demand probably doesn't demand that kind of equipment yet. The reason I like the RC and the Pro specifically is that they are available with auto tool changer, and they do have a vacuum as an option. And those are 2 items I consider non-negotiable when it comes to cabinetry, specifically because of what you're going to do with the machine. The Pro series would probably be my go-to if it was me personally. It's our most popular machine because it is ball screw driven. It's got an upgraded drive system. So it gives you just typically a longer life expectancy, less maintenance, higher cutting forces. And ultimately it's ball bearing driven. So it's got better repeatability consistently. And so when you're doing things like MDF doors, that's why I like ball screw. So if you're not a guy that's ever going to, if you're just cutting out boxes all day long, like really might not be as critical to you. But I just always feel like if I'm upgrading now anyways, I want to build for the future. So yeah, the Pro series is where I'd probably start.
Perfect. Number 4, thank you for the presentation. Can a ball screw system allow efficient and rapid back drive? For example, when there's no power, can a spring quickly drive the position out of the nut back to its desired origin?
Yeah, I don't know. Admittedly, I'm unsure. It's a little confusing because I'm unsure the reason why you'd need to spring drive the position of the nut back to its desired origin. Because generally speaking, these are anti-backlash ball screws, so there's no reason to. And then they use a rotational ball nut, so you're not spinning the screw. and therefore the motors that ride along it have an encoder on it, and therefore they know their positional location at all times. So the accuracy of a ball screw remains constant. So I'm not sure if I answered that right for you, but that's my thought. So
Perfect. And then the fifth and final one really wasn't a question.
Okay.
It was more, I just wanted to give a shout out to Brian from BAM Woodworks. He called this morning and we had a long conversation about his machine coming soon and just all of the kind of his whole experience with ShopSabre. And he mentioned the podcast and he enjoyed all the topics that we talk about, whether it's, what the people in a shop using a saw will feel about now having a CNC to do those things and how much safer it's going to be for a shop. And just all the things that we've talked about. And he just commented on how from the tech guys he's talked to the sales guy he worked with, to all the communication we give him, he just loved the customer experience and how happy he was. So just wanted to say thanks to him for that. And, told him we obviously take pride in doing that every day. And it was nice to once in a while hear those, pats on the back that we don't always get, I guess.
That's awesome. Yeah, so, you said Brian, right?
Brian, yep.
Yeah, Brian, appreciate it. Obviously, first and foremost, thanks for trusting us with your business. I mean, that's a big decision in itself. Glad to hear you listen to us, and I hopefully don't bore you too bad sometimes. But no, it's admittedly why we do this, right? That's exactly why we do this. It's not about just talking to talk. It's talking to our customers. It's talking to the people who are investing in this product. It's talking to the people who are considering investing in this product.
Yep.
And that's really what this is about, is I want people to feel comfortable with who we are. I want them to see us, right? Like they get to see you and I. We're real people that are in the business every day. They talk to you. They can get a hold of me. They can see that we're not just these robot-y people, right? That, got our suits and ties on and we, follow this certain line that we're just real people. We make mistakes. We say the wrong things sometimes and we admittedly have to sometimes laugh together, right? But at the end of the day, we're a real business doing real jobs, and we appreciate you trusting us because I think in the end, our reputation kind of perceives us that we do a lot more right than we do wrong, and that's our goal always, is to make sure that we keep moving the ball forward. And sometimes the ball gets a little oblong, looks like a football sometimes, but we fix it. So
stop talking about football. See, I was just getting into a great mood, and then you had to go back and bring it up again.
Sorry. Would you like to punt?
I'm going to punch you right in the chin.
Moving on. So thanks again, Brian. Obviously, always, if you guys got questions, comments, whatever, please send them over to us. We love hearing from you. But back to this week's topic. Hopefully you can calm down and be happy about this. But I want to talk about why cash flow isn't always king. Because I think you always hear the terminology cash is king. And I think there's some level of truth that having cash is king, right? But cash flow is crucial. Not going to deny that. But relying solely on it, I believe, and this is just my personal belief, that it can slow your growth.
Sure.
I think if you're depending to do everything in cash, at some point you can't move as fast as you maybe want to.
I guess the first thing that comes into my mind is, you obviously have, if you have the money to pay for it in cash, why not just finance it and keep that cash,
right,
in case something happens? I mean, you don't know when things are going to happen, right?
Right.
So what if an unexpected giant expense happens in your business and you put all the cash you had towards purchasing a machine or whatever it might be?
Right.
Then what happens when you need that extra cash? Do you want to go and then have to?
Yeah.
I don't know.
My thing about it is, like, I think about it from the other perspective, like waiting until you have the cash. I think it's going to delay you in key upgrades, right? Like, you're not going to do things when you need to, or automate when you should, because you're waiting for the cash, right?
Absolutely.
And I mean, if anybody's ever bought a house here and you run out to buy the house you want and you have to get the cash together to buy the house versus doing a mortgage on the house, which one's faster a lot of times?
A mortgage.
Right. And so you don't miss out on the home that you wanted or the purchase opportunity. But if you said, okay, that's the one we want, we need 30 days, we need 60 days. Do you miss that opportunity potentially?
Probably almost every time.
Right. Like, it's really probably going to put you in a bad spot. So now think about it from a business standpoint. By not having the upgrades or doing the things, do you miss out on revenue streams, right? Do you miss out on things that you just didn't even know were possible because you weren't in the game? And so to me, delays can cost you jobs, right? They can reduce your efficiency in your shop, and ultimately you miss opportunities, right? And I think those missed opportunities have a heavier weight than the dollars that you think you're saving.
Especially if those missed opportunities result in not having return business come back.
Correct.
I mean, you tell one person no one time, they're never going to come back, right? They're going to find somebody else that can do it over and over.
Yeah, think about the customer we talked to a couple weeks ago. We had that. We talked about their email to us, and they said they grew what 40. I forget this 46%,
something like that. Yeah. Yep.
Like, think about if they hadn't bought the CNC machine because they were waiting on cash. 46% growth they missed.
Right.
And if you missed that growth, is any amount of interest worth it?
No.
It's not, right? You're better to pay the interest. And so, like, cash only thinking, I think, limits the ability to scale. And, for me, I always just ask, what large scale businesses ever have scaled on cash alone? It's pretty rare.
Yeah.
Right? Many successful businesses have to use growth to fund growth, right? And therefore, not to pay for it up front, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not paying for their success up front.
Right.
Like, oh, we'll pay for it all in cash. And then, like, there's a lot of businesses that buy a building and they fund it through the business, right? Or they do a loan and the business covers that loan. And that's my point of it, is that I think using cash has a time and place. If I'm going to go buy a boat, if I'm going to buy a four-wheeler, if I'm going to go buy a toy, a race car, I'm going to do it in cash.
Yep.
It's a depreciating value.
And something you're just doing for extracurricular fun, whatever.
It's a depreciating asset. You're not going to make, by buying that boat, it's not going to be worth more money next week.
Right.
But buying a CNC machine, buying a building, buying the equipment you need, those things typically, now, don't get me wrong, the machine may lose value, right? But the value it brings is appreciating, right? It's making you money. It's like if you need a pickup truck for your construction business, not having the truck is going to cost you more money than having the truck.
Absolutely.
Because you have to be able to do the construction.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
Or do the work. So that's where I kind of look at this, is that, like, the truth sometimes is about using your cash conservatively and leveraging your finances to give you that flexibility to move now instead of waiting for the perfect balance. Because admittedly, perfect doesn't exist.
Correct. We've said that a million times on the show.
Right. And so, to me, like, financing should be a growth tool. Should it not?
Yes.
And so, I think a lot of people look at financing wrong. They look at it as debt. And I don't think it should be looked at as debt. It should be more of an investment, right? It's an investment opportunity, because you're preserving, as you said, to your point earlier, you're preserving that working capital for things like material, labor, unexpected expenses, right? Something happens in your building and you have to pay for it, right? Having cash can be important in those scenarios.
Right. And while you're incurring whatever debt by financing that machine, that debt is something that you're going to turn into more value than what the debt really is.
You're going to turn debt into revenue.
Right. Because then you're going to take that, whatever, say you $50,000 in debt that you go by buying the machine into hopefully several hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? In turn.
I mean, that would be the hope,
goal, right?
If you have the right plan, right?
Yes.
And I think that's the big thing, is obviously you have every single time you do a financing, you should have a plan, right? I mean, we're not here to just say take out loans and you should be fine. Like, you have to have a plan. You have to think your way through it. But having access to better equipment sooner can make a difference. And rather than waiting months or years, I mean, literally, sometimes I talk to people and they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna get the cash together and then we'll call you back. And it's 2 years later.
Yep. And
then they call you up and they want a quote, and the quote has gone up. And they're like, well, I would say, like, that's the problem with waiting. Things go up, things change, right? And admittedly, old ways can kill a company quickly. So if you are not adapting and moving forward when you need to, your customers are moving forward, regardless if you want to or not. And so your upgrades now can actually help you capture more of those customers and help you streamline your growth. And if you spread your cost over time versus in one lump sum, right, it tends to stabilize your business a little bit, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
And so there's a difference between overextending yourself, right, and then being cost confident, right?
Yes.
I know that I can pay the money back here. And so the other thing that I think people miss out on sometimes is the tax savings. You think about the tax savings that people give up because they're trying to pay cash instead of just doing the financing and using different tax incentives. An example would be Section 179. I mean, in all cases, talk to your CPA. There may be benefits to your business by financing something versus paying it in cash.
Yeah. And I mean, there's probably a lot of people out there that, especially small businesses, that maybe don't know that those things exist, right? Or don't know the extent of the value that they provide. And like you said, talk to your CPA so they can help you understand
Right.
those things that can benefit your business in making those types of purchases.
Well, yeah, and I think in many cases there's an ROI from increased efficiencies or, new equipment outpacing the labor force that you have, or, the cost of financing oftentimes is less than the existing labor.
For sure.
And that's the part that I think people get lost in, is that when you finance a CNC machine, let's talk about, right? A lot of times we're talking about a $5 to $7 an hour cost.
You ain't getting that labor anywhere.
You're not.
No,
it's
impossible.
You can't get that labor elsewhere. So if you have to hire somebody versus do it, it's cheaper just to do what's right for your business, right?
Sure.
For growth. And then you start to look at the scalability of equipment versus another hire. A hire is hard to train, hard to figure out. There's a lot of things that you have to work through. With a CNC, you implement it into your business. And so there's so many businesses right now, and that's why we're talking about it, because it's the end of the year. People are rushing to figure out, how do we capitalize on some of our tax savings? What are we going to do differently for next year so we're not in this crazy time crunch right now? And how do we work our backlog? Because backlog's good and bad. I always remind companies of that, because people are like, oh, I got jobs out till next June. Good, because you're stable.
Yep.
Bad, because your customers see that.
Correct.
And reputation will perceive itself, that people are going to think it takes you too long to get them something. And at the end of the day, if that's the case, well, if I have a quick job or I have something I need done, I can't wait for you, so I'm going to find somebody else to do the job.
Right. And if you're out until June doing things without automation, right?
Right.
You add automation, then you could be, maybe out till February.
Right.
March, maybe. Just the amount of time that it's going to save you and cut down on those lead times. So then, like you said, you don't have customers that are like, oh, well, that's way too long to wait. I can't do that. I'm going to go find somebody else that can do it quicker.
Correct.
Which, unfortunately, maybe might mean that they go to somebody that's going to give them lesser quality because it's quicker, right? But if you have a lower lead time and can tell those people yes, you're going to save that business.
And when you consider your margins, let's say you have a 35% margin, the cost or the amount of money you make on margin a lot of times offsets any interest you're paying.
Correct.
So it's now it just paid for itself, right? And so I think that's the thing where people sometimes lose sight of that. The other thing people lose sight of when you're looking at this is from a standpoint of on your ROI is discounting. The prices that exist today unlikely exist in the future, no matter what we do, right? Prices change all the time. And so if you can buy something today and get a discount, that discount may offset the amount of interest you're paying. So rather than waiting for the cash and then losing the discount, well, now it's a catch-22. You lost all the work and you spent the same amount of money as if you just financed.
Right.
You might as well just finance it.
And now you've wasted those months without having automation and falling further behind the curve of everybody else that's moving forward.
Yeah, and I think that's again, CNC as a specific consideration is something that you need to think about, because in CNC operation, the right equipment often translates to faster turnaround times for your customers, for yourself, for your employees. It improves the part quality because it's consistent, right, and precise. And then a lot of times you're going to have less downtime because you're not waiting on an outsourced product, or you're not waiting on an employee who might be out sick, or, hey, he hit his 40 hours and we're not paying overtime right now, or, whatever that is. But less downtime reduces your labor costs too.
For sure. Yep. And I don't, going back to what I talked to Brian about this morning, one of the things that he said that really kind of stuck out to me was he had talked to buddies that live close to him that have a ShopSabre, and they were the ones that directed him here.
Got it.
And just the one thing that stuck out to me was he's like, now instead of having to flip my 4x8 sheets on my saw and try to cut things to save materials and not waste it, now I'm going to have a 4x8 machine to put this material on.
Yep.
I'm just going to cut it all out. I can walk away and let it cut.
Right.
I'm going to have hardly any material waste because it's going to know what to do. Right.
Yep.
And just all those things that he mentioned, just kind of that light bulb in your head is
material yield is huge.
Everything in itself right there. Those things that he talked about is going to, save him and make him money in time with the cost he spent on the machine.
Right.
All that time. And now he has, like he said, his guys that were using the saw now can do other things. He doesn't have to worry about the safety of the saw or somebody getting hurt. All those things that go into it.
Right.
Ends up saving you money and not having incurred costs later on.
Right. It's huge. And on top of that, you got support now.
Correct.
Because a lot of times when you're doing those manual processes, you don't have somebody to call when something's not working, right?
Yep.
You're getting frustrated with the guys. You're mad about the shop. But when the CNC is there, you have support. How do I do this? How, what's the best way to do, like, you have people. And
Yep.
so support alone opens up doors a lot of times due to its efficiency. Because, hey, you can do this better. We can nest it. We can show you how to do this in a better way, and allows you to say, I can do that.
Right.
And then the next thing, right? And remember the guy a while ago, he said he became the guy known for saying yes to everything.
Yep.
Like, that's the thing, is you become known for being able to do things that you otherwise wouldn't have been known for.
Right.
And so I think financing, it really allows you to capture those benefits today, right? Like, you're probably going to, if you pay cash, you're still going to benefit from it in some way, right? But
Yep.
instead of positioning yourself when the cash is ready, right? You're positioning yourself for the growth today.
Well, and I just think, like you said, doing it now as opposed to waiting,
Right.
again, allows you that much more time to learn and get better and hone your craft and using the new
Right.
machine, right? Instead of, just wait 6 months and then then you're spending that time learning it again. So you're another year down the road by the time you're proficient with it. Why not start now?
And the other thing that we see every day, I mean, something we talk about all the time, is how customers, like, who plan and they think this way. Like, a lot of times you're calling us because you already have a need. People don't often call us because they were like, maybe a CNC makes sense.
Right.
They call us because they see a need.
Yep.
Whether it's they're already starting to get backed up, they see somebody else doing it and kicking their butts, or they are paying somebody else's time on a machine anyways, and so you're paying that guy's payment instead of your own. Like, shops that finance their equipment can upgrade when they immediately see that need, right? And so whether it's their slower months or they end up landing a new client because they have this and they can take on more work, and therefore they drive up that revenue, right? And you can't take on those big jobs and those new things if you're already tapped out.
Right.
Like, no business is going to take on more when they can't do it already. So, the productivity improvements quickly offset your payments. And that's something we have seen time and time again. And, we often hear people say, I should have done this a year ago. I should have done this years ago. I should have done that. I can't believe I waited this long. It's because the machine scaled their growth.
I mean, we hear it all the time.
All the time. Like, and it's because people think we're crazy. Like, they think, oh, they're just saying that. I literally can show you a countless number of emails and people that have said those very statements. Like,
I would be lying if I said I didn't get one of those at least every day.
Right.
Like, literally every day.
Right. It's
just
crazy how many
people that are
people
amazed. Oh my God, I got my machine last week. Like, I send an email every, after 30 days of checking it to make sure everything's fine, right? And the amount of replies that you get back saying, I can't believe how easy this was to use. I can't believe how much more stuff I'm making.
Right.
I can't believe how much better my shop is running. It just everything.
Yep.
There's nothing but positives that come from it.
Right. And what drives me crazy on that is, like, we get that many positives, but they're so busy and so excited that they tell us and they move on and they make money.
Right.
And the only thing you often see on the internet would be a negatives or something when something doesn't go right. Right. But the reality is, how many of those emails and how many machines we ship a day proves that there is profit in doing it this way.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep.
They maintain healthy cash flow while investing in their growth. Right. And that's the nice thing, is they don't feel strapped for cash because they didn't use all their cash to accomplish this. And it was a strategic decision by many of our customers that pays dividends, right? Really, it literally and figuratively pays dividends.
Absolutely. Every
Right?
single day. Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, so I guess for me, like, my takeaway on this is financing isn't always a risk, right? Sometimes it's simply a tool.
Well,
And-
I think people are just too quick to think that you said, like, financing is a bad thing. Like you said, there's certain things that financing are not smart or not a good business decision. But if you think it through and do it the right way or get the right things and finance it the right way,
Right.
it's going to be a game changer no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, you can protect your cash flow. You can upgrade equipment when you need it. You can position your shop for really time efficient growth, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Because, like, growth is going to happen if you want it to, right?
Mhm.
It's up to you if you really want to grow. Some people just don't want to grow. But if you want to grow, like, you have to be able to scale yourself, right? And cash alone often makes that hard.
Yes.
Like, it's really hard to grow when you're just, okay, we're going to pay cash for this and then pay cash for this. And then, like, generally speaking, when you're scaling, you're financing it. You finance buildings, you finance, people, because you're paying them hourly, right? You're paying them a salary, but you're not paying it in a lump sum. So scalable growth is what this is. And so to me, that's really what financing is. And so I wanted to talk about the day. I mean, it's not that long of an episode today, but I wanted to talk about finances versus cash flow because I think it's something that people oftentimes are overlooking. And I think they don't think about it from, they expect the sales guy to be like, oh, you should just finance it. But they really don't want to listen to the sales guy when we try to explain why we say that. We're not saying it so we get the sale, right? Of course we are, right? We want to sell something. But it's practical in a business. If this is really a business purchase, like it's practical for your business.
Yep. Couldn't agree more.
So kind of fits into my motivational quote because price is what you pay, value is what you get. And it's that point. Like, yes, there's a price associated with the purchase of a machine, but there's a value that's greater.
Absolutely. The profit you're going to make,
right.
The support you're going to get.
The growth, the headaches that go away,
yep.
Just so many things, right?
The ease of injury and silly work that your employees want to do by carrying stuff around. And
the fact the machine's there when it snows outside.
That's true. Your machine doesn't get a cough and a sore throat and want to stay home.
Your machine's
Not
kid,
that I would do that, but
your machine's kid is sick, so it has to stay home.
Your machine doesn't have car trouble.
Your machine didn't lose his fantasy football on Sunday and then decided to call in on Monday.
I hate you. God. I would have called in on Tuesday though, because shit didn't hit the fan until Monday night. So it would have been Tuesday.
Well, you and I both lost on Monday.
Hey, I got a question for you.
I'm ready for you.
So, I don't know. I go down weird rabbit holes sometimes on Twitter, just reading silly stuff, right? What are you doing?
There's a laser pointer on this thing.
Jeez, I'm blind.
Sorry, go ahead.
Hit me right in the eye. Did you know that a slice of apple pie costs $3.50 in Jamaica and $2.97 in the Bahamas?
No.
Those are the Pirates of the Caribbean.
I don't even have anything for you there.
You were so confused on where that was going.
I was very confused.
Like, what are you saying that
for? I knew you were going somewhere with it, but I was my brain was trying to process where the dad joke was.
Brian's going to love that because he also did mention how funny I was on the show when he asked if I was the other half.
Brian must be lying.
Brandon brings the brains, I bring the funny.
I'm the brains, we're in trouble.
Well, if I was, we'd be in more trouble. Good Lord.
Oh my God. Thanks for tuning into the Ren and Stimpy show.
I mean, there's a lot of other things you could have called us that were
Beavis and Butthead, Dumb and Dumber.
Beavis and Butthead was great, by the way. It's so dumb.
I could just keep going if you really want.
Dumb and Dumber. Okay, well, who's dumb and who's dumber? I'll answer that question.
We're going to argue about that now.
Okay, Lloyd.
You proved that one, didn't you? Sorry about my friend here. The town's that way.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Anyways, appreciate everybody tuning in. Thanks for taking financing advice from these idiots. In all reality, though, like I said, if you want to explore financing, you want to talk about CNC machines, we have some really good programs in place. We actually have a no money down option right now with no payment till 2026. And we have some really cool options for $99 for 6-month financing for those who qualify. So obviously there is some qualification requirements. Sometimes financing just doesn't make sense because you did not qualified. But in reality, if you can get qualified, I think it does make sense for a lot of people. And we'd love to explore it with you. We'd love to show you what exists out there, but it's got to start with that phone call. You got to pick the phone up, talk to us, give us a chance, shoot us an email. You can shoot us an email at sales@shopsabre.com. You can reference this podcast episode if you want and talk about financing. And yeah, we're more than happy to chat with you. So.
You could also give us a call at 952-461-4570.
Nice job.
And ask the wonderful Sarah at the front desk to speak with a sales associate, and they will take great care of you.
Yeah, absolutely. But like I said, reach out. We're happy to chat about the end of the year stuff we got going on. Get you set up for next year. Get you ramped up. We're excited. We got a lot of good things happening. So as always, you've been listening to Talkin' Shop. Until next time, invest wisely, protect your cash flow, and keep building smarter. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Nick.
Thanks for tuning in to Talkin' Shop.